Hello everyone, my name is Xiaohan Wang. This is my Australian Professional Standards for Teachers video presentation, and this presentation is based on my placement experience. Let's begin. The first standard is 1.1, Know students and how they learn. Firstly, my artifact is through observation of children at playtime in the kindergarten. One child showed particular interest in touch. They loved feeling soft fabrics. So a small fabric exploration activity was established for that child. My other artifact is I also adjust the communication with an EALD child in my class. I implied brief sentence, gestures, and pointed to the objects I was talking about, helping the child feel more confidence about participating in group activities. The exploration is these cases illustrate that I started to understand children's own interests and learning goals. This corresponds to ATO Standard 1.1, based on close observation of children during games, provide help that is beneficial to them. Also linked to the EYLF that promotes responsive care of young children. Additionally, I adopted Vygotsky's theory of scaffolding to adjust my language according to the children's stage. I will dedicate myself even more in the future to doing careful observation, hoping that I can combine it with plans better, to further monitor the changes in my children's performance. Now let's move to Standard 2. The Standard 2 is know the content and how to teach it. Firstly, my artifact was I planted a group time activity based on the EYLF outcome. Children are connected with and contribute to their world. I read a story about different families and ask children to share their own family experiences. My second artifact is I also used songs to support language development. I repeated the same song over several days, and finally, more children began joining in and remembering the words. These examples demonstrate the way I understand curriculum content and teach it in length with ITO Standard 2. Repeating the song to build a scaffold following Vygotsky's theory. According to the NQS, programs need to follow official learning frameworks for approval to promote the children's meaningful involvement in learning. In the future, I hope that I will enhance my knowledge of the EYLF and explore ways to design activities better. The standard 3.3 is use teaching strategies. First artifact is I set up a fabric exploration activity using play-based learning methods. Children touched and compared materials. A few began to describe how they felt. The second evidence is in the group time activities at school. I used some very basic questions such as how do you feel about it? What can we do with it? The exploration of Standard 3.3 is the central concept behind play-based education for young children is started in the EYLF. Based on PNAS investigation, teacher-child interaction can encourage students to participate activity. In the future, I hope that in my question raising and giving consideration practices with children will be better. The standard 4.1 is support student participation and behavior. The first evidence is supporting children's behavior with positive reinforcement, praised when they did something right during playtime, and encouraged them to share or cooperate. My second evidence is I also guided the children in conflict situations, helped them express their emotions in simple words. This practices aligns with ATO Standard 4.1 by supporting positive behavior and participation. The EYLF highlights the importance of relationships. PNAS research emphasizes that positive teacher-child interactions reduce behavior difficulties. In the future, I will continue to develop strategies to support children's emotions and behavior. The standard 5 is exercise, provide feedback, and report on student learning. My first evidence is I observed the children during play and recorded short notes about their interests and skills. The second evidence is during the activity I offered encouragement to young children. The examples show how I applied the assessment methods in accordance with ATO Standard 5. The EYLF views assessment as an ongoing process that continuously guides planning. The NQS highlights that educators should gather information about children's learning. In the future, I plan to develop some organized observing materials and also want to try communicating children's growth experience better with parents at home. The standard 6.2 is engage in professional learning. My first evidence is that during the placement period, my mentor teacher provided some feedback on giving more specific guidance and speaking slower while interacting with the children. Secondly, I connected what I learned from the EYLF and Vygotsky theory to my teaching practice. These examples, along with ITO Standard 6.2, the Early Childhood Australia Code of Ethics, underscores the significance of ongoing professional development. In the future, I will continue to seek feedback and reflect on my practice in detail. I also hope to participate in more professional learning opportunities. Standard 7 is engage professionally with colleagues, parents, and carers, and the community. My first evidence is I communicated with families daily during drop-off and pick-up, sharing brief updates about their children's day, such as what they ate or which activities they enjoyed. Secondly, I was able to attend the group meeting of children's development with other members. I shared my observations when approached. This case is complete with the ITO Standard 7. The the Early Childhood Australia Code of Ethics emphasizes respect for families and cooperation with colleagues. I plan to establish a series of communication tools for families in the future, including storytelling and regular newsletters, and continue fostering good team relationships. To summarize, the placement helped me better understand what it means to be an early childhood educator in practice. I learned that teaching is not only about planning activities, but also about building relationships, observing carefully, and responding to children's needs. I will continue to reflect and improve myself to support children's learning in the future. And they are my references. Thank you.